hey loves, hey loves, hey loves. My name is Wyann. I also go by Y, and this is another culminating episode of Raise It Up, Y, the podcast. We're coming at you the last Thursday of 2021 in a year that felt like it went by faster than even 2020. I don't know where the time went truly, but I guess that's what happens when you put out a debut album and have like all the changes in the world. How does this feel? Did you see it go too? Okay. As long as we good. But all the changes in the world, that reminds me of my mom in the song. We go through changes we go through. My mom and them is the emotions for people who don't know me. Those harmonies are sick. If you listen to that, do you know that? You know it. I'm so proud. Okay, all right. That's Boomer Did It that I'm talking to, ladies and gentlemen. I'm breaking the fourth wall. I have some amazing energy in this room with me. Between Boomer Did It, between Easy Masil, all these fly pictures y'all been seeing on at Wyanna, WYANNA, on my social media and things. Between Boomer Did It and Easy Masil, you will see probably everything that I got up. You know what I mean? But yeah, back to this episode and all the crazy changes that we've gone through this year. I'm just happy to have you all with me. I'm happy to be here. There's a lot of us that aren't, that some of us know in our personal lives. Some of us know public figures who didn't make it to this date whenever you're watching this in 2021, or if you're watching this beyond, there are going to be some people that don't make it to the day, you know, that you're able to hear this. So I would hope that you are feeling thankful, appreciative, and, happy about life, and that you're living a successful one. Success just meaning that you woke up, you didn't not wake up, So we're going to be getting into this episode, starting with grounding, of course, like we always do about this time. This episode is going to be called G'd Up from the Feet Up, as we wrap up worth. G'd up from the feet up as we wrap up worth. That's not an earthquake, is it? Okay, we're going to keep rolling. We are in LA, right after I said the most West Coast shit in the world, we have what we thought was an earthquake. It wasn't. Don't worry, guys, while we're taping. But yes, had to see if we was going to ball out right now. But let's get into this episode. Let's get into this grounding. This whole year, we've been focusing on work. That's not true. Worth. And 2020, we focused on self-awareness. 2019, we were just debuting the whole platform. I'll try to have a theme like that for 2022 as well. I'm playing with some ideas for what I think will be kind of centering most of our episodes around, like we did these last 2 years. But yeah, I just up front want to say, let's get into this. Let's go up. All right. So if you're in a space, in a place where you can, I invite you to close your eyes and be here with me. Take this moment, hear my voice, feel your feet, wiggle your toes, touch on your nose. And you're just doing that to recognize that you are here. Let's breathe a breath in. And blow that breath out. Let's do that again, in through our noses and out through our mouths. We're just doing this to own it. Own this miracle that we call life. That we are living and winning just by living this life. By spending this time with my voice right now, you are investing into your betterment. And I'd like you to sit with that at the end of this year and feel proud. And if you're ready, let's go up. Yeah, we start all of our episodes off like that because I am an edutainer wrapped in trained therapy. I am a trained therapist, not a practicing one. And if you want more therapeutic insights with this podcast, you can always check out episode 37, just November's episode, where the masterminds, shouts out to Love Mitsunokeda and urban_counselor. They were with us and we were talking about imposter syndrome. They were also with us at the top of 2021 talking about boundaries. I think that is a smart episode to re-listen to in a couple days when it's the new year once again in 2022. And it's important to listen to things like boundary setting and creating those boundaries so that you know for the new part of whatever you're getting into, new year, new you, new things, new ideas, you are able to maybe separate where others have been with you and where you're choosing for them to be now. It's the same reason we do grounding in every episode. We ground ourselves to separate the energy between wherever we were before we started listening to this podcast and wherever we are now. So now that you're here, now that you're locked in, I want to get into a break it down. We got 3 segments generally per episode. Break it down is where we uncover the genius within hip hop culture. And we do that sometimes through concepts and exploring concepts within hip hop. And sometimes we do it with lyrics to songs. So there is a young man by the name of Rex Life Raj. I do not know this gentleman personally, but I've had the pleasure of appearing on Terrace Martin's Village Days with this young man. That was Terrace's winter release back in 2020, right? And this young man, I remember when Terrace was sending me the songs that he wanted, and I did, like I did on 3-Chord Fold, did a bunch of poetry to kind of like string along the concepts of the album. And when he sent me this song, originally it was the last song in the playlist of what he sent me. The song is called Money Up. I thought it was, I'm grown. I'm real grown. In 2022, I'll be 40. You understand? So when I hear younger rappers, sometimes their style don't always catch me, right? And this young man, I want to make sure I get his name right, so I keep going back to where I wrote his name, Rex Life Raj. Shouts out to you, sir. When I first heard him, you could tell he has this young swagger about him, but at the same time, his lyrical content, let me tell it, and how he delivers his lyrics, it kind of separated him, for me personal. It separated him from the pack of these young, wonderfully budding artists that are coming out in hip hop now. So I want to tell you what he said. He says, "Young nigga, get your money up. Better get yourself love up too. Cause can't no one love you like you gonna love you. So young nigga, get your money up. Better get yourself love up too. Cause can't nothing fuck with you if you fuck with you." He says, look for love in the wrong places, you'll never find it. Look in that mirror and see self, but you don't look inside it. Looking at all of your flaws while they're highlighted and you can't fight it. Trying to run from the noise, devil move in silence. Still I rock halos, take off, fly with the angels, channel abuelos, me and my amigos, move like Offset, take off in Quavo. I thought that line was very dope. My mind move like tornado. They be lost in the sauce. Give me meat and potatoes. Yeah, they will tell you how to live a life they ain't lived. But what do they know? Oh, young nigga, get your money up. Man, listen. And the way he spits is, look for love in the wrong places, you'll never find it. Look in the mirror itself, you don't look inside it. Yeah. Look all your flaws while they are highlighted. Like I enjoy this young man. I promise you, I don't know him, like I say, but he had a swagger about him, singing melodic rap, I guess you would call it. Shouts out to like a Ty Dolla $ign, something like that. I don't know. I hear this and I feel like I'm going to come back to this concept, especially in the Wyann's Words of Wisdom. And I feel like I'm going to come back to the concept in Wyann's Words of Wisdom more because of the fact that one of the things I wanted to do by the end of the year, shouts out to my loves for Love Tuesday. One of the things I wanted to do by the end of the year was look in the mirror and actually see me. And we'll talk about that more and how that looks at the end of the episode. However, I just feel like we have a tendency, like this young man says, we have a tendency to look in the mirror and see all of our flaws highlighted. You know what I'm saying? You look in the mirror and you see self, but you don't necessarily look inside it. I think I played this for you when he first gave it to me last year, Zelika. And when you heard him saying it, you were like, whoa. That was, I feel like this was the first song that caught your attention. I'm telling you, if you haven't heard this song, shouts out to my brother Terrace Martin, who will have had a birthday by the time this episode comes out. Terrace's birthday is December 28th. So we should have a whole shouts out to birthdays section, because I think the day we're taping today on the 14th is King T's birthday, straight out of Compton. You understand? Shouts out to the alcoholics, you know what I'm saying? And the liquid crew and stuff. So I'm just saying, it's his birthday today. Il Camille and Javante tomorrow. Layla Hathaway and J.O. Felony on Thursday. And The Emotions, Wanda Vaughn on Friday. So this is a week, right, that we're doing all this. This is a real week. But yeah, to this Rex Life Raj, young, awesome character here, I just want to say, yo, your writing is amazing. Your thought process when you write, it sounds pretty originally amazing. But I want folks to listen to this. One, because it came out around winter, and so it's on my Christmas playlist. So I can't wait to go to the Glendale house and be listening to All I Want for Christmas. And then it goes into Young Nigga, Get Your Money Up. Get yourself love up too. You know what I mean? Can't no one love on you if you fuck with you. You know what I mean? Can't nothing fuck with you if you fuck with you. I think that's a deep line. If you got you, man, in terms of what this year has been about, in terms of what worth has looked like, in terms of what knowing your worth versus seeking validation, okay, has looked like, because we talked about that too. What seeking validation looks like different from just knowing your worth. If you fuck with you, what can fuck with you at that point? You know what I'm saying? I would hope that you live a life where you understand that you are your wildest dreams. Everybody around you is rooting for you. I would hope that those are the types of people that you keep around you, because you're a magnet to your situation, right? And if you're a magnet to your situation, then certain people when they feel your frequency, are automatically going to be like, hey, that's one of my people. They're one of the people that inspire me. I need to be around them. Can't nothing fuck with you if you fuck with you. Go daringly into the direction of your dreams and don't stop till you get there. Take on anything that needs to be taken on the way. Don't take too many detours. Rest as much as possible so that you could have full force going forward where you're going. But if you fuck with you, I don't know. I don't think that I just don't think anything else can be the thing that would hinder you. But this man said they've been lost in the sauce. He's like, I don't want sauce. I don't want the fluff. Give me meat and potatoes. They'll tell you how to live a life they haven't lived. So what do they know? Oh, there is a pending episode. I was telling the angels, shouts out to Cup of Sue and again, Onet Z or Easy Masil. There is a pending episode about new age type education and people speaking into you, encouraging you about how to live a life they haven't fucking touched. I don't know if I'm shy. I don't know if I'm getting at, higher education professors and things of that nature. I don't know if I'm getting at them. And if it do sound like I'm getting at you, then nigga, yeah, I'm getting at you. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, the shoe fits, buy a matching purse. It's easy. But I'm just saying, I was taught those who don't teach, those who don't live the dreams they've designed for their lives, they go to school, get educated about it, and go back and tell other people how to do their thing. But I don't know. It's just different when those are the full-time people at an institution telling you how to get to your dreams. I really respect the part-timers, really. I respect part-time professors, part-time professionals who go back and teach, because these are mofos that are still in you know what I mean? They're still in the swim. Shouts out to my boy Gary or GMAC rather, from Canada. They're still in the swim of life in their respective fields. And as they've researched these topics, so they got their 10,000 hours, they're a master. They're also out in the world seeing what actually works versus what looks and sounds good on paper to have worked, So, yeah, there's going to be a day. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's going to be a day. To all my loves who are in school, this is not a PSA to drop out. Don't do that. All my graduates or former students from where I've worked and places I've worked, this is not a PSA to drop out. Don't do that. I am a several degree holder, and those several degrees in a time like today where the job market and everything looks so crazy, nigga, I got options. And I feel wavy when it comes to putting myself back into that side of life if I want to get back into that side of life. So no, this is no PSA to move about willy-nilly. However, like I tell any of my students, like I've told any of my students, and like I tell all of my loves, take the notes of the students of life whose results you want. I'll say that again. Take the notes in life from the people who are living the lives you want to live. I recall very clearly wanting to teach something about music and being successful in this industry at a state school, I'll say. And they told me because I was not a degree in music holder that I could not teach about what I was living whenever I left particular campuses in my life. And I said, so wait, am I understanding this correctly? Under that under that ruling, Shaka Khan couldn't teach a how to sing effectively class here, or Quincy Jones couldn't teach a music composition class here. Am I correct? Well, I mean, do they have degrees? I said, oh, don't even trip. I'm in great company. I'll leave it all alone. I will leave this place. Do not worry. I don't need to teach this class here. You're right. I am in the wrong place. That's the kind of stuff I think of when I hear, don't get lost in the sauce and the fluff of things. Give me meat and potatoes. Yeah, they'll tell you how to live a life that they haven't lived. So in the end, what do they really know, though? Yeah, please go listen to Terrace Martin's Village Days, his winter 2020 release. And that song is called Money Up by Rex Life Raj. I feel like I could have did a whole damn episode on just those licks. I skipped parts on purpose. However, we'll go on to the Raise 'em Up. Raise 'em Up right here on Raise It Up Why is the segment of this podcast where I get to tell you off from my perspective certain lessons that I generally teach, but I teach them in a edutainer, Wyann sort of a way. So today, I'm looking at communication patterns. And I'm looking at communication patterns because I've been talking a lot to loves on Love Tuesdays. Shouts out to all my loves. I've been talking to new loves on Clubhouse in the Raise It Up Why room that we have on Clubhouse every Sunday about 3 p.m. on the West or 6 p.m. on the West, depending upon what I have to do on the day. We have talks there. So shouts out to those loves right there on Clubhouse in the Raise It Up Why space. But I think there becomes some challenge, some discord, some disconnect in how people communicate, talk, and receive information, not just on these apps or anything like that, but I'm just saying in life, some patterns that I've noticed, and I feel like it might be a responsible thing for an edutainer like myself to do, to maybe go back and give you all some jewels, some gems, if you don't already have them, about common practices in the communication space. Write these things down. Write these things down if you have the opportunity, if you feel like doing something. PAC, not Tupac, but you can look at it like that. PAC. I want you to write P, A, and C vertically down your page on one side of the page. And I want you to write PAC on another side of the page as well. I want the P's to be across from each other on the same line. Underneath, I want the A's to be across from each other on the same line. And underneath the P and the A, I want the C's to be across some ways from each other on a third and, well, not a final line, but a third line in this succession of communication styles. The P, if you want to fill this in, the P stands for parent. The P stands for parent. The A stands for adult. The P stands for parent, the A stands for adult, the C stands for child. So of the POC that you've put on here, the P stands for parent, the A stands for adult, and the C stands for child. All right? So we got POC going on, right? Funnily, we have two POCs. All right, my bad, y'all. Anyways, West Coast. But anyways, rather, PAC. I want you to write a line going across, P to P. When two communication styles are happening in the parent section of communication, that is called a debate. When a parent is speaking to another parent, there is debate going on here. All right, let's go across. When an adult is speaking to an adult, we call it a conversation. We call it a conversation. And when a child is speaking across to another child, that is called an argument. That is called an argument. I'm going to explain these: parent, child, then adult. In a debate, where you have the parent's style of communication, you have individuals that are fact-based. They're generally fact-based. Everything is very logical, almost overly logical. All right? 2, in this debate where things are logical, people speak and only listen enough to rebut. For those of you who don't know, shouts out to Soundtrack from the Soul Council. Yeah, the Soul Council. He says, you need to start calling when you give us vocabulary that we didn't have. We need to call it wise words. WY''S words, but also wise sounds like WISE, wise words. Let me find out Soundtrack start rapping again. Notice the word again. Anyways, shouts out to Soundtrack. When you rebut someone, it means that you are looking to take a point that they've said in a communication, put it inside of a point that you're trying to make, and deliver it back to them in order to persuade them to think like you think. All right? That's what rebut is going to mean for this part of the conversation. You could look up the word rebut, rebuttal, you can look up those types of words and see what it says. However, when you debate in parent communication styles, you're overly logical. You listen only enough to rebut or make a rebuttal in your communication. And 3, you can be seen as condescending because everything comes from this know-it-all mindset. You're not looking to learn. You're not having a communication in order to build yourself up or leave differently than you came. You're looking to debate. That's a parent communication style. Let's skip from parent over adult down to child. Children argue. That's a shirt. Children argue. 1, where parent communication styles were overly logical, children communication styles are overly emotional. Overly emotional. 2, about those arguments that children have. I don't care how old you are, by the way. Whoever is communicating like this is what this communication pattern is called, child. And you're arguing and you're over emotional. 2, when you speak and another person speaks with you, you don't listen. It's not that you listen enough to rebut. No, you just don't listen. Because this is my point. I know what I want and I want it now. You're whining, you're throwing tantrums. You want what you want. Very, very, very self-centered type of communication. A third part to know about this childlike communication called argumentative communication is no listening takes place. You speak to get your point out. You don't care if it's been received. You don't care how it comes across. You just talk. Think of social media. I'm back. My bad. I went to Pettyville. I'm back. All right. So we have a parent communication style where people debate. We have a child communication style where people argue. And now we are coming upon an adult communication style where people converse. If you were Tupac in 96, you might say conversate. People erroneously said conversate so much that now conversate is a part of the dictionary. I don't make the rules. But this is why I like math. 2 + 2 is going to be 4 regardless. Who teaches you what happens? You can't. 2 + 2 is 3. 2 + 2 is 3. All right, 2 + 2 is 3. But the English language, my bad. Okay, so converse. You have conversation that happens between 2 adults. All right. In this communication pattern, the most important piece is it's the only place where listening occurs. It's the only space in communication where the listening occurs. We can put it in the same order as the other ones, but I wanted to put that highlighted. Number one, it's only when adults speak to other adults does listening transpire, does learning transpire. People go in with the intent to hear another and decide to grow from what they hear, or say, maybe that's not how I think. However, I'll mull over that. I'll mull over that. Mull, M-U-L-L, guys. I'll mull over that. That's what I said. Shouts out, wise words. So I might mull over that idea. You know what I mean? But the information is given, and the person on the other end of the information feels heard. You communicate to equalize in the adult space. To equalize means I want to come away from this with as much as you can come away from this. I want to come to this conversation in this space to add value. And I look to take value because I want to be in conversation with people who could add value like me. So the big thing to remember about adult communication styles is it's the only place between a parent, adult, and childlike communication pattern where listening actually takes place. Ideas get shared and transferred. It's when adults speak with other adults because people actually decide to listen. So I thought that would be helpful for us when we're on social media. Sometimes we get into these big debates on, whatever platform. I'm not trying to shout no platform out because ain't nobody paid me. But at the end of the day, when you think to go back and forth with someone you've never met, consider this first. 1, there are only 24 hours in the day. 2, every day you are gifted a finite amount of energy per day. Do you really want to use this energy on this act today? Use your non-refundable, irreplaceable time on this interaction today. Is that what you choose to do? These are all questions you have to ask yourself. Because certain people are only on these apps to hear themselves speak. Certain times you communicate with people in your close inner circle, your family, your condescending boss at your job. Now you can look at that individual and say, oh, you communicate like a parent. And because you've been so parental, I feel offended. And so when I respond, I argue back like a child. In another episode, we'll cover passive aggressive behavior. but just for communication style's sake, when someone comes at you with their fact-based rah-rah, and then you pop back off with your emotional-based rah-rah, I can guarantee you are in a tug of war of energy where debate to argue. And like I've already covered, no listening occurs. Nobody's going to leave with a changed mind. Both of you are digging your heels deeper into your sides of whatever communication you're doing, and no one leaves for the better. So, find adults in your life to communicate with. If you recognize that you're a fact-based debater or an emotional-filled arguer, try one day. See what it's like to come into a conversation neutrally and listen. Seek to listen, not to solve your mate or anyone else who's speaking to you's problems, not to judge or criticize, because that's the childlike thing, to judge or criticize what you hear, have an emotional reaction to what you hear. That's a childlike thing. Just go in with the intent to make sure you hear another. And when they leave that conversation, they can say, damn, I feel heard when I fuck with whoever, whatever your name is. Fill in the blank here. Boop. So, 2 POCs, parent, adult, child, debate, conversation, argument. Debates, overly fact-based, no listening. Arguments, overly emotional, no listening. Conversations, listening. Ideas traded, feeling heard, probably respected too. All right? I thought you guys might like that. Hope you do. Last, we have a high why. If anyone ever wants to ask a question that I answer here on Raise It Up Why, you can always DM, direct message, our platform at RAISEITUPWY, and the loves say, rockets up on these hoes. It's a long story. You can look at you can look at a couple Wyann's words of wisdom a few episodes back and learn why we say rockets up on these hoes. Or you can come to Love Tuesdays and I can talk crazy to certain... We'll cover that in the Pay Your Dues section. Anyways, if you would like to submit a question or have me cover a certain topic, please go to at RAISEITUPWY on usually Instagram, but there's also a Twitter, Facebook. Again, we have a room on Clubhouse called Raise It Up Why, or WyannVon.com. You can email info@Wyann at gmail.com and submit your Raise It Up Why question there. That's a whole lot of clicking though to put it in the email. I just thought about that. Just, go to the Instagram. It's the most proficient way and to reach me, and I am the most efficient at responding on Instagram. So this high why came from none of those interactions. You'll hear more about this company in Pay Your Dues, but I have the distinct pleasure of calling Amy S. of Custom Inc., the manufacturer of all of my merchandise. I have the distinct pleasure of calling her my personal Custom Inc. rep because she's outstanding and amazing. And any merchandise you've ever seen from me has come from this place called Custom Inc. So while I was on the phone handling some biz with Custom Inc., Amy S. and I became fast friends, and we talked about a lot that day, just in life, because we were just having a great conversation while we were waiting for some computer things to happen. And she said, ooh, it would be so cool if you could cover burnout on your next episode. Custom Inc., Amy S. is not burned out at your job. I'm just saying, she was actually communicating about how much she enjoyed being a team member of Custom Inc. So please don't listen to this and somebody go look at Amy S. What the hell? No. She's fine. And she will be there, for a long time to come. But covering burnout, I think we were discussing a bunch of what's gone on in the world since 2020. And I want to call it post-pandemic, but guys, we're kind of still in this thing. It is flu season here again. And some areas of the U.S. have numbers going back up through the roof. I think I talked about it right before the episode in November. I had a friend who was just a year or two older than me pass away from COVID. Just let it be known, I know that we're not necessarily keeping death toll numbers anymore like that publicly, but this is still a real thing. So do your research, Be smart, make smart decisions for your health and your body. And always remember that your immune system is assisted by you being good to your body. There is no medicine that can replace a sound mind, body, and spirit, which includes a great or a grand or a well immune system. That's my public announcement about that. So, Amy S. and I, S is in Sam, guys. Amy S. and I of Custom Ink were discussing burnout and how you can be going through not just your jobs, ladies and gentlemen, and have a hard time after you, let's say, lose your job because of a global pandemic, an unprecedented global pandemic. And now we are expected, we being citizens of the world, humans, are expected to just hop back up, go back to their cubicle with a, face mask on, by the way, and act like nothing happened over the past 2 years. That's insane, first of all, and it's not realistic, secondly. And not only can you start to feel burned out from your job, your occupations, you can start feeling burned out simply on life. So what is burnout? I will call burnout in an occupational setting, at the very least, when you are at a place for some amount of time, usually an extended amount of time, and the work you do no longer stimulates you. As a trained therapist, not a practicing one, but when I was practicing back in school in my graduate program, we would have extensive talks, not just about burnout, but burnout's cousin. Burnout's cousin's name is compassion fatigue. Compassion fatigue would happen when you were dealing with a sad story at 7 a.m., a sad story at 8:30 a.m., a sad story at 10 a.m., a sad story at 12:30 p.m., a sad story at 2:30 p.m., and then you have to go home to realize, oh my gosh, wait, you're telling me Uncle so-and-so passed away, or that this public figure I really enjoyed passed away as well? Your people who know me very personally know I have a saying that says the elasticity on my give a fuck has worn out. There's only so much quote unquote give a fuck that Wyann has. And I guess you could say that nicely if I want a quotable so that poor Amy S. doesn't have to show this to her boss. Sorry about that, customing. But what I would want to say is it not just the elasticity on your heartstrings, the elasticity on how much you can care about something. Bro, there's only so many times you're going to show me an image of a black male being killed on television before I have to say enough. Enough. That's not burnout or compassion fatigue from an occupational sense. That, in 2020 at the very least, was a compassion fatigue I experienced that had me burnt out on life. Period. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this. If you have, please, as much as you feel safe sharing, write in the comments wherever you're hearing this. We can be consumed. I just thought about that. All of our podcasts can be consumed anywhere that Audible podcasts can be consumed, as well as we have a show on YouTube. In case you're listening and you didn't know that you could be seeing me and all the makeup that I do for you guys. But anyways, just know I was burnt out on all of it, bro. I listened to one of my favorite podcasts, Joe Budden's podcast, and to hear him every episode back in 2016, especially, even in 2020 with all of the craziness that was going on, coming in, having to talk about everything current in affairs because it's your job, the way that he has his podcast structured, that is. He's commenting on all these deaths. He's commenting on all the police brutality. He's commenting on the things that the 45th president was doing to people of color or disenfranchised folks. He's covering man. Every time I would listen in last year, I was just trying to see, how is he going to cover this now? Because I got to say, I was burnt out. My compassion had fatigued. There was none left, and it's a scary place to feel so desensitized to sensitive information that you would rather turn off the television than seek to want to understand an unfortunate human condition, whether it be Black Lives Matter, whether it be Stop Asian Hate, whether it be equality and equity for all LGBTQ plus members. I have no clue, because after a while, you got to remember, the world is going on and we're experiencing certain losses and sad events all as a unit. And then last year at the same time, I was losing family members, not to COVID, but just to life. Certain relationships were waning and then falling completely off that I'd had for years. Shit, from last year into this year, that cut me. That hurt on a personal level that nobody else can see. This is not like when a public figure passes away and we all get to know that everybody is kind of feeling this sense of sadness or hurt because we all had to go through it together. No, this is just me and my personal life. And Amy S. might be going through her own thing. And Oned Zelike might be going through her personal thing. Boomer Did It might be going through his personal thing. And guess what? If we all had to sit and listen to everybody's personal thing, well, then we'd be back to that day I described for a therapist. Sad story at 7, sad story at 8, sad story at... And that person, guess what? They don't stay working in the field very long. That compassion fatigue graduates into burnout, and they leave that job to work at fucking Starbucks. I don't give a fuck where I work. I want to work somewhere I don't have to care so much. People know I used to work with group home youth, homeless youth, and what was the other one? Group home, homeless. Damn it, I can't think of the other one. I can't think of the other population I was working with. No. I didn't even get to work with them, but I was gonna start after I no longer work with the homeless youth. I was gonna go back into working with folks on the spectrum, people on the spectrum with autism in group homes. So it was gonna be like a double whammy. And I realized I'm going into education. And I ran into education. You wanna know why? Education has an off switch. 3 p.m., done. At the college level, I get to choose when I'm on and when I'm off. There's night classes, there's weekend classes, there's online classes. It had a freedom that the K through 12 system, well, the adult school system that I worked in K through 12 settings on high school campuses and things, there was an off switch that education afforded me that working in group homes or doing my own private practice didn't afford me. I wanted the separation. I wanted the distance from my clients. It only took me one time to work during Christmas and I think New Year's Eve and New Year's, and it's double pay and it's this and it's that. And it's like, but at some point I have to not be a number. At some point I have to not be a barcode, right? At some point I have to not be a cog in someone else's machine to make them money, right? Don't I? When do I experience Wyann the human? When do I learn about myself? Who I am, what that looks like? That all led to my senses of burnout. And I wanted to just cover my experience with burnout just based on a conversation that Amy S. and I had when I was putting in this last order of merch with custom ink that I will talk about in the Pay Your Dues. But Love Culture champion brand collab is back in full effect, baby. But MES, much love to you and everyone over at Custom Ink. Once again, I'll shout you guys out after this Wyann's Words of Wisdom in the Pay Your Dues section. Now, we are on to one of the last Wyann's Words of Wisdom of this year. You guys know 13 is my number. So there will be a 13th episode this year that will come out New Year's Eve for 2022, which is probably just tomorrow. I don't get a lot of time, guys. I don't get a lot of time. But I want to talk about being G'd up from the feet up. All right? And when I say G'd up, I'm talking about being real good. I'm talking about being grand. I'm talking about being, period. Being. I'll go back to Rex Life Raj's lyrics from earlier, talking about you look in the mirror, and when you look in the mirror, you see it, but you don't look inside that image that is you. So a few weeks ago in a Love Tuesdays, shouts out once again to all the loves and love culture, we were discussing topics, and before we could get off, if you don't know what Love Tuesdays is, ladies and gentlemen, just listen to the Pay Your Dues, and I'll show you how to coagulate with the culture of the loves. And it's like a family reunion that we have weekly. Been doing it since fall 2020. And we've been going on for over a year strong now. So one of my loves asked me, what do you want to accomplish by 2021's end? And I thought long and hard about it. And I realized with the year that I've had, where I had a different ending to February 2021 than I thought I would have. Didn't get to process it for too long because by the 11th of March, I had fallen, busted my lip open, stitches on the outside and the inside of this part of my lip, and half of a tooth, a left front tooth that my dentist at Crenshaw and Slauson, I think my dentist name is. Look at one of my pictures that I talk about my fall. I have him and my chiropractor tagged in it. Love to both of you gentlemen, both my doctors. I had that happen in March, turned 39 in April, caught COVID a few days after that. Just over a week, but still, it was days after that. I recovered. Most of my family recovered. My uncle did not. So I lost my favorite, my favorite and only uncle on my dad's side, my Uncle Jew, dealing with loss and bereavement for that time. Still dealing with unresolved feelings that started in the end of February all the way into the summer of this year. And before I knew it, I was parting ways with the education system I'd been with for 8 years, 8 and some change years. I'd also worked my ass off to put out my debut album. I'm walking you through and slow walking you through this year so that you can see with all of the pieces of the year that we worked on, that we did, not to mention merch runs and making sure we still did Love Tuesdays and still made sure that we were all in with everyone. Putting out the album, my dog passing away the next day after putting out my album. My dog, I've done my whole decade of 30s with. I've been a dog owner since I was 28. I'm still a dog owner. She's just in my heart. That's why I got this nice ass sweater on, but I made sure it was open so y'all can see my heart, my baby girl. I don't know if y'all can see it, but she's there. My love's got me a necklace, so my doggy's around my neck and in my heart at all times. But I'm only saying that because that's a full plate, everything I just named. So here becomes the question. If that's already a full plate, if I'm not intentional with making sure I look in the mirror and see myself and not just my flaws highlighted, as the Money Up lyrics said, man, I feel like you can feel lost in your own life. Not lost in life, lost in your own life, lost in your own skin and your own body and your own soul. And with a year like this year, my Easy Masil took a little impromptu photo shoot of me a couple weeks ago. And as I'm looking at pictures of myself, even that day, you have that picture of me taking a selfie of myself. I was trying to remember how to smile where you don't see this droopy lip on this side and everything. And in my head, I'm like, Wyann, only you see that. Only you see that. I promise you. Everybody else is going to see a beautiful woman. And all you thirsty Negroes is going to see is the ass. So let's just call it let's call it a spade if we're going to call it one. My God, I'm looking at this last reel as it's going, whatever it's doing on online and shit. But some of you guys, boy, sorry about your dog passing away, but damn, you got ass, bitch. You fat by way of the dog on my hips and ass. Thanks for the compliment, sir. Jeez, I wish y'all could hear how some of you sound. But anyways, regardless of how you sound, like I said, can't nobody fuck with you if you fuck with you. I fuck with me. So regardless who don't, I do. And I say that though, because when my love asked me on Love Tuesdays, boy, what do I want to see myself do by the end of 2021? My reply was, I want to be able to look in the mirror and see me. I want to see me. I don't want to see my fall from March. I don't want to see my sad eyes from the loss of my uncle in May and my dog in October. I don't want to see remnants of my broken heart from relationships that ended in whatever ways they ended for whatever reasons they ended this year. I just want to see me. If you're not intentional about how you do things this year, this day, this moment, Mint Condition have a song, this day, this minute, right now. If you're not intentional about how you do today, this minute, right now, a lot of days, a lot of minutes, a lot of right nows will pass. And you won't even realize, whoa, wait, I'm still tripping over what that dude did to me back in 2019. Hey, yo, am I still hung up from when that girl did such and such to me in 2016? Because sometimes you still hold on to your shit. You're holding on to your baggage. You're holding on to your demons. Your demons been let you go. You don't realize it, though. It takes a moment. It takes intentional time with yourself to look in the mirror and see you. That's self-awareness. And it's my hope that once you see you enough, you learn, damn, there's value there. And once you realize there's value there, I think that possibilities are endless. You can love yourself. You can change yourself. You can attract different crowds to yourself. You can get money. You can get whatever you're trying to look for, boo. But it needs that money up lyric. You need to get your money up, but you got to get your self love up too. Because can't no one love you like you gonna love you. you know? But it's one thing when that's just a song lyric. It's a whole nother thing to experience it. Imagine someone singing about an orgasm. And everybody's singing about an orgasm. It's a great song and it's an awesome, woo, yeah, you know, whatever people is doing. And you think that because you sang along to the song, you know what an orgasm feels like as a virgin. It's not until you experience that thing that you be like, nigga, that song didn't have shit on the thing. You understand? I think it feels like that when you have that self-love, when you start to look in the mirror and see yourself, not your flaws. See yourself, not your accomplishments. Hello. Not your products. See you. You know, it takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, it's a everyday effort that you have to put in, because that's what love is. Love is a relationship that you work at every day. You can't take yesterday's love and use it for today. That's like taking yesterday's biscuits and trying to serve them up today thinking they're going to be fresh. No, it's going to be stale. Yesterday's love is stale love. Cook it up, serve it every day new. All right? So, my hope for you all is that when you look in the mirror, you see you. That's the shit that makes you a G. And that's what, in my opinion, being G'd up from the feet up happens to me. Oh, and before I go. Guys, I did my own hair. Let's talk about it. Jesus Louises. I'm trying to tell you, my beautiful and amazing hair lady at Hair by Quista has taught me, and just me watching her, how to get this vibe from some hair. Because if it wasn't for Hair by Quista, I wouldn't have this amount of hair to press. Hallelujah. Hey. Also, if y'all were wondering what to get me for the holidays, for Christmas, for Hanukkah, for Kwanzaa, for New Year's, for Coco, think of me, all right? The light, baby. Show you the light. Yeah. My cousin at I Love the Do, ILOVETHEDOUX, Maya Smith, has a product that I cannot believe y'all, because I've been talking about it for so many years, done went out on all the shelves that these were, and you bought them up from me. That's some fucked up shit. I just want you guys to know that. But I love that y'all are buying these products. She can't hardly keep the doggone shelves stocked. It makes me feel happy. And I'll be happy to announce that some select around the country JCPenney's are holding the full line of the Do products. And if you want to know where those JCPenney's are, please visit thedou, THEDOUX.com. And let my cousin Maya know that Raise It Up Why I sent you. You had to dig that. That's number one. Number two, talked about Custom Ink and Amy S. all that time. Please make sure, if you are a business, emerging entrepreneur, or just a person that wants to get some fly gear done for yourself, customized and personalized, fuck with the squad. I should have said that without cussing so that you guys can use this in a place. Let me try that again. If you would like to enhance the look of your brand, please make sure you visit customink.com. That is CUSTOMINK.com. customink.com. Or you can visit at Custom Ink on Instagram, because that's where I find their advertisements, and I'm probably going to find all their advertisements after I've said their name so many times to these listening devices. I'm like surrounded by like computers in the dark, making more. No, my bad. That was a Drones reference. But anyways, thank you so much, Custom Ink, for your quality, for your amazing customer service, for always hiring some of the people who actually care to help entrepreneurs work with businesses and brands to get the best quality product that they've ever seen, with a smile on their face to boot. Whew, y'all got y'all nerve. I love y'all. I'd say thank you very much. From my platform, Raise It Up Y, to yours, Custom Ink. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do and being as bomb.com as y'all are. How about that? Also, make sure you visit wyannvaughan.com, WYANNVAUGHN.com. There you'll be able to stay abreast with all of the events we will be doing, usually online, but because Been In It a Minute will have been out for a minute, hey y'all, come the top of the year, we'll probably be doing more shows and having more appearances, definitely more merch, things like that. Well, we just shouted out Custom Ink. I do have a new set of merch if you are listening to this at the end of 2021, top of 2022. Exclusive as always, limited as always. It is the Love Culture hoodie champion brand collab that we've done there, as well as matching beanies. Make sure it is cold outside. Make sure that you are staying warm and loved on in Love Culture, all right? And if you ever want any of our products, please DM at RAISEITUPWY or at Wyanna, WYANNA. No, my name is not Wyanna. Let me make sure everyone knows. I am Wyann Vaughn. My grandmother called me Wyanna. When I made that handle, Instagram was nowhere near as big as it is now. So who would have thunk all y'all would be calling me my grandmother's nickname? So, and let's just give ourselves, as 13 presents ... over here, a pat on the back, because Rockets Up on These Hoes hashtag has officially been registered, trademarked. We them. You understand? New music. Been In It a Minute is out and going. If you're listening and you want new holiday music, not that you asked for it, my sister Wendy, I Am Wendy with an I all together, at I Am Wendy with an I all together on Instagram. She actually has a Christmas EP called Glory. So make sure you look up Wendy Vaughn, WENDI Vaughn, and the Christmas EP that she has called Glory. You look that up, and it's just, a couple new songs and, jingles to get down to during this time as it's waning and going away. But it's still worth a listen, let me tell it. So last and never least, I just want to thank my loves. Love Tuesdays is a resting place, is a rocket fueling station, if you will. It's the motivation that we all use to stay positive, non-corny positivity being our thing. Happens 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, even when it doesn't happen on Tuesdays. But 6 p.m. on Tuesdays on my at Wyanna, WYANNA platform. That is where you'll be able to join all of the loves for some, quality time. Everybody getting together, feeling good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 38 in the can. And I thank y'all for rocking with me, and stay tuned. New Year's Eve, episode 39. We'll be right here. 13 episodes for your girl. 13 presents ... Thank y'all for being here and rocking with us. That's all I gotta say. As always, from the Raise It Up Y crew, to you. Stay real, y'all. Raise it up, why? Raise it up.